In this video, we're going to combine all of the images for our Week 4 activity into one multi-layer document. And to do that, we're going to do that from within Bridge again. So we're going to go File, Browse in Bridge. And as you can see, I've placed all of the items in one folder. I have in this folder my 3 images that I resized and cropped at a 1:1 ratio. And I have an image that I decided to use as my background image. So in this case, what I'd like to do is I'm going to hold the Control key, or for those of you on a Mac, hold the Command key, and I'm going to select all of the images in this folder. I can see here that I have 4 images selected. Now I'm going to go over to Tools, and I'm going to tell Bridge to open these documents as a multi-layer document in Photoshop. So now I want to go down to Photoshop, and now I want to load files into Photoshop layers. When I click this, all of these images will open in Photoshop not as separate documents, but as one document with multiple layers. While this is loading, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen that I have 4 distinct layers. And each layer is named after the document. So if you'll see here, I've got Yellow Bird, Flamingo, Blackbird, and this document, image 5126, which is my background image. Let's shrink out a bit. Let's zoom out. So I'm going to click Control minus or Command minus so that I can see my entire document. Now it's really hard to see what's going on here. I have 4 distinct layers. First thing I want to do is I'm going to replace and reorder this layer so that I have my background image, this item here. I'm going to click and drag it to the bottom so that it's my background layer. And just to keep things organized, I'm going to double click over the word and rename it background. Now one nice thing about layers is that you can reorder them. I've got this yellow bird layer here. Now I know that it's here somewhere. In fact, I can tell from this icon that it's in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Unfortunately, so are Flamingo and Blackbird, and so they're blocking that image. If I see on the left-hand side here, if you take a look here, there's these eyes, and you can actually wink on and off a layer by clicking on that eye. First thing I want to do is I want to wink off this layer here, this Blackbird layer. So I'm going to click on that eye and wink it off. So Blackbird's still there, I just can't see it right now. That's a really nice way to be able to play and work with your layers. The next layer, Flamingo, I'm going to wink it off as well. That leaves me with my background layer and Yellow Bird. And there it is there. To actually do anything to that layer, I have to be on the Yellow Bird layer. So I have to click on Yellow Bird, and now I can actually do something with this image. What I want to do is I want to make sure I'm using the Move tool. So click on the Move tool, top tool on the left, and now I can move this item anywhere on this document. Before I go any further, I want to tell Photoshop that while I'm using this image, I don't want to lose any resolution. Because I plan on resizing this image, but I'm not entirely certain how many times I'm going to need to resize this image before it gets to where I want it to be, I want to tell Photoshop not to throw away pixels every time I resize the image, because that's what Photoshop does unless you tell it to do otherwise. So over here, while I'm working on Yellow Bird, what I want to do is I want to click on Yellow Bird within the layer where it says Yellow Bird within the word. I want to right click and I want to convert this to a smart object. So you want to scroll up until you'll see Convert to Smart Object and click. While I did that, there's this tiny little box in the bottom right hand corner, and that's how I know that this layer has been converted to a smart object. Now when I resize this image over and over again, it's just going to maintain the same pixel quality and the same pixel density. It's not going to throw away pixels every time I resize, and so I'm not going to end up with a highly pixelized image the more that I play with it. In the next video, we're going to resize and reorder all of the images in our document.